Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe and that is Stephen Howson, and today we are talking about Patrick Dorgu, what kind of player he is, how he fits in with Amorim, and also the kind of wider connotations, the type of player, the sort of profile that United seem to be keen on under Ruben Amorim. First of all, Steve, you
or
right?
under Ineos.
Or under Ineos potentially, yeah.
Because that's supposedly, they had like a whole criteria of like under 23, first couple of contracts. Like they had a whole thing, didn't they?
Exactly, and he ticks pretty much all of those boxes. So let's go through some of the kind of the initial base level stuff before we start getting into the opinion stuff. He's 20 years old. He's a Danish wing back / winger / fullback. He can kind of, and has played in many different positions.
He's had a few different hats on, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and he can play kind of in and around a few different areas. He's someone that plays for Lecce, obviously, in Serie A. Toward the bottom of Serie A, that's one of the reasons why this deal's been a bit difficult to do, because they're kind of in and amongst the relegation battle and they don't want to lose one of their better players. He's got 3 goals and 1 assist in 21 league appearances so far this season, so he's not prolific in terms of goals and assists, but
would
he is someone,
like second top scorer with those numbers?
He absolutely would, yeah. And just looking at a few of his numbers to get an idea of the type of player he is, I'll compare him to other fullbacks for now, because, you know, like we said, you can compare him to midfielders, you can compare him to wingers. Very good in the air. He recovers and wins the ball back very well. He gets above average number of tackles. He's very good at carrying the ball, arguably his best trait. He's also very good at scoring goals and creating chances for someone who is a fullback. Now, when you compare him to wingers, he's not so good at creating chances and scoring goals. Firstly, though, Steve, do you like this as a transfer? It looks like it's likely to happen, around £30 million. Just big picture, do you think this is a good deal?
I'd say it's more like £24 million, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of the ones I scouted a while ago, and we identified as a potential future United signing. It's nice when they kind of come off.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be rubbish now. It's generally how it goes.
Yeah.
But no, it is one that I kind of like the idea of. It is a weird position to find the right stuff for. He has played in multiple different positions. Lecce play multiple different systems with him he's played on the right a fair bit as well. I think there's probably going to be super high expectations because of how poor United have been. He probably doesn't live up to those expectations because he's not like a level up on Roberto Carlos by weekend. So that means he's rubbish and a flop. Stand by for that.
Yeah.
He isn't necessarily an assist-creating machine. He isn't necessarily a goal-creating machine. But I hope he brings like balance and physicality to that side of the pitch, which I do think he is capable of doing. Then he's got to grow into that position, and then he can start adding those other elements to his game.
Because he is quite raw at the minute, isn't he? You can tell he's someone that hasn't been a professional top-level footballer for a long time. His touch is a little bit wayward at times. His passing numbers aren't great in terms of just the amount of time he spends on the ball. He can be a bit in and out of games. Are you worried about the expectation that we're going to have?
Yeah, it's United.
I know.
It's United, and it's a fan base that's absolutely desperate for any level of positivity. Yeah. And we've got no patience for it. So as much as we want people to be good, if they're not immediately mega, they can fuck off. That's generally how it seems to be.
And it immediately starts counting against the managers, doesn't it? Like, if you're a manager and you make a signing, the up or down on whether that worked or not is literally part of your job security. If it worked out, then you're safe. If it's not, it's a waste of money, you don't know how to buy players, all that. Like, with Dorgu, is he going to come in and start immediately? Do you think that will be the trajectory for him, straight in over Dallo or whatever?
I think he has to.
Yeah.
I don't think we're in a position, and not only that, I also think that we absolutely require probably a 3 or 4. I don't think we're going to get them though, and that's the problem, is that you're going to be judging not just him, but the manager and this team on probably an incomplete 11 for the system that we would like to show. That's a nightmare. That's a nightmare for everyone involved. Will he play? Yeah.
He would probably start at the weekend if we signed him tomorrow, wouldn't
he? He might. He might.
Literally might. Because Dallo's not played in his own position. Well, actually, he played on the right the other day, didn't he? Against.
You can tell he's Fredders with the wing backs. The way he keeps swapping.
I know. Dallo had a little spell on the right, and he looked a bit more comfortable. But he's been playing left wing back. He's a right back. Like, I do think that Dorgu would probably come straight in. When you talk about the expectation, one thing that can help him is limiting that expectation. And I think a big way of doing that is not spending 40 million quid on him, not getting pushed to the sort of perimeter of what we're willing to spend. Because when someone goes, is a 25 million pounds signing, that comes with an expectation. 40 million is a completely different expectation. How important...
Or 80.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah, which we've ended up spending on people with around a 25 million evaluation before. How much, going forward, not just with Dorgu, is the amount we spend on players crucial to their chance of success at United?
It shouldn't matter, but it does. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
You know, the reason why the likes of Peter Schmeichel, Eric Cantona, Dennis Irwin were so loved wasn't because they were super bargain buys, but it helped to the lure, didn't it? He's that good, and he only cost whatever. Peter Schmeichel was the best goalkeeper in the world, if according to Jay, and he only cost 500 grand or whatever it was from Bromby. The Eric Cantona, best player in the league, he only cost £1 million. You know, Andy Cole was great. That's it. Yeah, because he was a British record, but Roy Keane was a British record. Yeah, still fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, but it does give you a bit more, and I think that's well and good.
I don't remember any pressure on Roy Keane, you know.
That's weird though, because he was quite young, wasn't he? Was he 20?
Got fucking relegated.
Yeah.
Relegated, British record fee.
Yeah.
You better be the new Brian Robson, little fucker.
And he sort of was.
Yeah, he just was. So it's kind of like it was literally no drama. Do you know what? I'd love to interview Roy Keane, and maybe that's one because like I said to him, I don't remember anyone ever talking about your fee. Maybe it got broke real quick because I think Chris Sutton was very soon after him for $5 million. $5 million. What are you gonna do with all that money?
Crazy. I don't even know what you get for $5 million now. You don't even get an academy, like a high-rated academy player for $5 million. That's starting.
Hannibal
in the
was like
he was
8, 9.
8, 9, yeah, yeah, crazy. But like the inverse is true when the team's not doing very well. So when you're doing well, it doesn't really matter what you cost because you just
Christian Eriksen got a lot
it.
of love for being free.
Yeah, it does help.
Johnny Evans free.
Yeah.
Superb.
And the opposite, Paul Pogba, we were talking about him just before we recorded this. He had a lot of good games for Man United. People want to act like he was just crap the whole time because
he was top of like every metric for the club at one of his seasons.
And
like
look
assists,
at
goals, shots, like
every time United were good while he was there, he was one of our, if not best players. So it's not like he was terrible, and yet because he cost 90 million, that transfer was considered a flop after like 6 months, and a lot of people never changed their mind. No, it was, and he probably wasn't. Well, he wasn't the best player in the world, which is what at that point you thought 90 million would bring you.
Oh, what an intro though! What like a music video release. Oh my god!
Yeah, we had some great players. Remember we got Lukaku, we had Pogba. Was Zlatan there at the same time, or had he left by then? He'd already gone when Lukaku arrived.
We signed Zlatan and Pogba the same window.
That was so good.
Oh my god, what a window!
I thought when they were all there, and you had Martial and Rashford was coming through, and you had Lukaku and Pogba, and you had Herrera was there, and Matic was still doing it. I thought, we're going to do this.
When you now look at the team, no wonder we're fucking 12th.
I know. Does Dorgu raise the level of the team? Do you think he actually does? He has to, surely. Come on, Steve, come on!
I think he can play on the left.
But
and we don't really have anyone who can play on the left, so you would have to assume he can. But the thing is, the Premier League, I think physically he's absolutely suited to the Premier League. And that's big. Yeah. But we have to see him in the Premier League because sometimes the pace can take a minute to get used to. Yeah.
We see that a lot. I mean, even Ugarte, who kind of got used to it after a few games, it took him a few games. I feel like Xerxes maybe getting there now. In terms of like...
Fucking Jody Morris was like, I don't know what Ugarte brings to this team. Yeah. I'm going to get him in a headlock.
Yeah, rubbish. Absolute rubbish. On that then, so we're not 100% certain he makes us a lot better. Or we're pretty sure that he doesn't make us a lot better. He works and he can improve and he's only 20, so there's a long way to go. But do you almost feel like we need to bring someone else in this window alongside him for his sake, not just for United's sake, but
take the shine off him.
To take some of the shine off him, because we're going to go, right, hammer him, you've got your wing back now, proceed, top 4 form for the rest of the season. Like, do you think we need someone else just for his sake, let alone United's sake?
Yeah, and the managers. Yeah. okay, we absolutely require a left wing back.
Yeah.
Require. We also require another 35, 40 goals in the team.
Yeah.
Where are they coming
Something
from?
in that
They're not
ballpark.
coming from Dorgu. They're not, right? He's going to bring a little bit of balance, maybe a little bit more potency in the final third than you're getting out of the low. But he's not delivering you 40 goals on his ones. Like, that requires probably 2 players, realistically. Maybe a 10, maybe like an old head striker. And you're asking a lot out of both of those. We are at least 40 goals away from being a good team, at least.
Yeah.
And if you get rid of Garnacho and Rashford in the same window as well, that might be 50.
God, that's a worry, isn't it?
You got to moneyball this shit. You got to say, right, where's the goals coming from? You need realistically 80 to 100 goals a season to be in that top bracket. You get one Mo Salah type player or an Erling Haaland, you're getting 35 or 40 out of them. Sensational.
Yeah.
Now we need 60 amongst the rest of the team. Well, the midfield will chip in about 8 to 10 each. Sweet. That means we need, out of the rest of our 3 or 4 forwards, 40 goals. Something like that. 50 goals. That's doable.
Yeah.
When you've had someone taking more than their fair share. United haven't even got anyone even delivering their fair share. What's Ahmad on?
7 or 8.
Right.
And he's comfortably our best attacker. Like, yeah, he's got 9 goals, 7 assists in all comps, 6 and 6 in the Premier League, which again,
he's
decent.
on track for a 17-18 goal season.
That ticks the box that we're talking about there, without the 30 goal season
So
striker.
what we need is literally 2 more of him and a Mo Salah.
Dorgu ain't any of that, is he?
Negative.
He's gonna be expected to be, though, you know.
Yeah,
obviously, no one's gonna think
problem.
he's gonna be scoring 40 goals himself, but people will think he will make a noticeable, positive change at Man United, and he might not. That is a bit. I do worry about that. Just finally, on the type of player that he is and the type of players we've been linked with, it is more a physical sort of specimen than maybe a Luke Shaw, for instance, who's been playing there over the last few years. There has been a lack of kind of athleticism throughout the squad over the recent years, a lack of sort of size as well. And I don't think he's particularly big. And I think one of the things that he's not particularly strong, supposedly, according to some of the scouting reports I've read. But I think he does have, obviously, he carries the ball very well. He's got a great recovery, pace, and ability, which links to athleticism there. Does he kind of tick a lot of the boxes that United are missing just in the squad, not necessarily technically but physically?
Yeah, I think so. And I think you're right. This team, it can get bullied at set plays.
Yeah.
Maybe that is why they might be eyeing up a Pogba thing. Going back to that team, Zlatan, Lukaku, Pogba, Matic. Which team would you rather play against?
This one, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for that. At every level, it's sad how the physicality of players and their ability to impose themselves on others is such a difference maker, but it really is. It really is. If you've got a lad who's 5'10", and skill level, speed, fitness are all the same, and you've got a lad who's 6'2", you're going with the lad who's 6'2", because he's just going to impose himself more physically.
Yeah.
And that's a massive. Look at Manchester City. Yes, they're phenomenally technical. They're also a set of bastards as well.
Yeah,
they're a
big boys, aren't they? What's Rodri? 6'4", 6'5"?
Is he that big?
I think so. Yeah, he's massive. Maybe
6'3".
Maybe he's whatever. He's comfortably over 6 foot.
Yeah.
Haaland the same. They play 4 centre backs as the full backs pretty much. Like it is a big thing. It
genuinely matters. And then you look at people over egg the height of Martinez. He makes up for that by playing like a bigger bloke.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the team has to make it up as well. That we've got Bruno Fernandes is built like a fucking primary school child.
Yeah.
You've got Højlund, who should be a big lad, but he plays like a primary school child. Like he's not physical in the slightest. Ahmad is little and slight. Garnacho, little and slight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players that have got physically a lot of growing room to do. So having players that can actually put it on someone would be massive.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us at home as well. Get your thoughts in on Patrick Dorgu. Is he someone that's going to come in and change things, or is he the first step towards not being a bottom half team? We're so far off. We're just so, if you think, just enjoy him, like him, support him, but don't expect him to be Frimpong with 20 goals, 20 assists between now and the end of the season.
That's exactly what people are going to think.
I know, and it worries me, but we've spoke about it, so maybe some people will realise, and people know anyway, don't they? They're not stupid enough to think that a £20 million player from Lecce is going to be the key to United challenging at the top again.
Someone will.
Yeah, someone will. Might be a start though. Might be a turn in the right direction. Maybe not. Right, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you in a bit.